This podcast is brought to you by New Life Ministries.
Welcome to the Every Man's Battle podcast. I'm your host, JJ West. On this podcast, you will hear honest conversation and encouragement for living a life of sexual integrity. Let's get to today's episode. Hey, EMB podcast listeners, we are coming to you live from the Intimacy in Marriage workshop in DC, and we wanted to take a minute to remind you that as EMB podcast listeners, you have a special code, EMBPOD, EMBPOD, that you can use as $100 off your registration to the Intimacy in Marriage workshop that you get to attend with your wife. The next one's going to be in Dallas in October. And Doug, why should a guy who went to EMB, who listens to the podcast, why should he even consider going to Intimacy in Marriage with his spouse?
Yeah, that's a great question. What I experience most from the Intimacy in Marriage is that we learn so much about the way that we have been relationally affected growing up. You know, so many of us talk about, well, since I got married, we're doing this, or since I became a Christian, we're doing this. But so much of our just direct communication happens, and we learn how to do that early in life. And this gives us some background on how that process happened, and it gives us a template for going forward, meaning how do we have these intimate conversations where, as we've talked about in other past episodes of the podcast, they affect us with my anxiety, or I want to avoid this, or we act in, or we act out, or it triggers us in some way. The template that we get at Intimacy in Marriage that you guys talk about helps us slow down, because we all know that when my safety brain gets triggered, I start to speed up and I start to have these thoughts that are just going 90 miles an hour. And the template that is given helps us slow that down so that not only do I feel heard, and I don't mean just heard, but I feel heard.
Right.
And so my spouse will feel heard as well.
Yes.
And we have such this need to be heard especially today in marriage. I hear that often in my practice. I don't know about you, but it's like, he's not listening to me.
Right.
He's just thinking and he's not even paying attention. Well, this helps us slow down that process so that we're meticulous.
Yes.
And it's almost cumbersome in the very beginning, but over time it becomes a very organic conversational process. It's really cool how couples get transformed.
I love that concept of slowing things down.
Yeah.
Because what happens so often when we get all spun up and we're going fast, we choose the familiar.
Right.
We go down the well-worn path. And so everybody has the same experience. No matter where the argument starts, we end up in the same place, right? And we're talking about the same things, and we're following those very familiar scripts. And we're not, and so I'm not listening to you. I'm just waiting for my turn to speak.
Right. When can I interject?
Right, exactly. I already know what you're saying. I already know your part of the script. I'm waiting for my part. But when we slow things down, and that's one of the tools they learn at Intimacy in Marriage is this comfort circle, which is the practical way of slowing things down. And it's just like if you're driving, if you're on the highway and you're zooming down at whatever your chosen speed, 70, 75, 80 miles an hour, you're flying down the highway, okay, fine. But if you need to take the off-ramp, you better slow down. Right? And so for us to be able to take that off-ramp of learning a different way of communicating, we got to slow down.
Right.
And Intimacy in Marriage does that for us. It provides, as you said, a template to slow down and have much more authentic conversation and more in a deeper connection.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a client, a couple, who, before they went, like you said, they get into these patterns, and most couples, some may be different, I'm owning this, some couples have a familiar conversation that goes exactly the same way every single time. It's always disengaging for us. It always ends with us going south, and sometimes we go into separate rooms.
Or separate buildings.
Or separate buildings. And this couple was very similar to that. And after they came back into my office after going, when they're discussing these, I mean, even in my office, I noticed immediately they were sitting close to each other, and when they were talking, they turned to each other and they were making eye contact.
Yes.
And they were being very direct in how they were. They weren't being ugly or aggressive,
Right.
like they had been before. But they were They were actually thinking through, what is it that I'm hearing you say, and how can I respond back to that? And I mean, and it was like, this was really just after about 4 weeks, I'm going, y'all don't need me anymore. y'all are doing this really well.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of started spacing out our sessions. But they learned how to actually feel like they were being heard.
Yes.
And I think that is so important in a relationship.
So good.
It was great just to see that. You know, I'm going, wait, something happened. What happened with y'all? You know, it's like, well, we're practicing the comfort circle. We're practicing what we're doing. And I'm going, can I bottle you guys up and send you out to all my couples? Because that's, most people go, but they don't practice what we need to do.
Yeah.
And that was one of those that did.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
You know, another thing that stands out to me at EMB, obviously the major focus is on our acting out behaviors.
Right.
We talk about acting in behaviors, certainly, but a lot of the focus is kind of on the acting out behavior. A lot of the guys come to EMB because, hey, I've got this problem and I want to change. I want to stop doing this thing,
right.
Or this series of things. Where intimacy in marriage ties in is it really focuses on my acting in. What drives me to act in, and how I can learn to connect instead of acting in.
Right.
And so they really do dovetail one another. Right.
Yeah.
And when we've done podcast episodes on the importance of addressing both sides of that coin,
Right.
because they're both protective. I act out as a way to protect myself from having to feel uncomfortable emotions, but I act in for the same reasons, because I don't want to have to feel that pain. And so they address it from two different angles, but we're addressing that pattern. Yeah.
And it also helps us, as you know, we talk about slowing down. It helps us feel the emotions that are coming up, not go over them at 90 miles an hour like a speed bump, right?
Correct.
It's like, oh, I don't want to feel this, so I just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what helps us speed up.
Yeah.
It slows it down so that now I am feeling, what was it like to be in a relationship with me?
Right.
And to hear it
Yeah.
from an emotional, heartfelt way instead of just words on a page. Because you see it every time we do intimacy in marriage, when couples actually experience slowing down, the emotions, the raw emotions are there, the ones that you said we're acting in. I don't want to feel that. That's too vulnerable. But we actually get in touch with that, and wow, something happens.
Yes.
We actually live to tell about it.
That's right.
And we go on, right? It's not like something bad happened. It's like, wow, my spouse really heard me.
Yes.
And so there's almost an automatic connection place.
Yeah. And, you know, one other thing that popped into my mind is, in the same way that at EMB, I'm in a group of other guys, right? I'm in a small group, breakout group, with other guys who have a similar story to mine, and the safety of that. Oh, I'm not alone. Oh, other guys are dealing with this too.
Right. Yeah.
And now this is a safe place for me to be me, for me to be real, to be vulnerable. In the same way, at intimacy in marriage, you're in a small group, a breakout group with other couples, and they're sharing similar stories. Oh, you guys do that too?
Right.
Oh, we're not the only ones who act crazy when this thing comes up.
Yeah.
And there's so again, now as a couple, it feels safe to start to dig into some of those vulnerable, some of those scary, some of those embarrassing places, because we're not alone in this, right?
Right. Yeah. It's awesome to be a part of. You know,
Yes.
facilitating those.
Right.
I mean, it can be tense at times, but it
Right.
can be very satisfying,
Yeah.
seeing the work being done. And it's almost like Christmas time, you know, eyes are popping out and going, oh, I didn't know it could be this way.
Yes,
you know, I
right?
didn't know I could actually say
actually
that.
communicate in a totally different way than we've always done.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's breaking those old, for some of us, family of origin patterns of relating, learning how my communication style has been injured and repairing it.
Yes. Yeah, and
it's really cool.
We don't want you guys to miss out on this. It's such good stuff. And so there's a discount for EMB listeners, EMBPOD, EMBPOD. You get $100 off your registration for Intimacy in Marriage. Once again, the next one's coming up in Dallas in October. We want you to be there. We want you to experience all of this goodness that we've been talking about, and we want you and your spouse to experience it together. So go to newlife.com, look up the events, find the information on the Intimacy in Marriage, or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Tell them, hey, here's my code. I want to use the discount so that I can sign up for the next Intimacy in Marriage intensive. Thanks for listening. Keep walking in integrity.
Thanks for listening. This podcast is just one of the many ways we can encourage and help you. If you're looking for more help, visit us at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Please remember to review, like, and share the podcast as it helps others find us. If you have a comment about this podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a line at EMBPodcast@newlife.com. See you next week.